Thank you very much. A bit of a miracle there anyway, amid that tragedy. Well, worrisome, that's the word Mayor de Blasio used today to describe rising coronavirus numbers in the city. City businesses are watching very, very closely, as you might imagine. The 7-day average for positive COVID tests in New York City is inching closer to 2%, the threshold for closing indoor dining. Officials are pinning part of the blame on domestic and international travelers, who they say are responsible for 10% of the city's new cases. News 4's John Chandler is live in Boerum Hill, Brooklyn, with the worries for new business owners.
And Chuck, a lot of broad concern from the mayor. That was the message today with regard to COVID cases. He preached that the city needs to be safe moving forward to try and keep these numbers from rising. But there is no way around it. Case numbers in New York City slow and steadily creeping up.
COVID case numbers are rising in New York City, and so too is concern inside City Hall.
We are not at 2% on a 7-day rolling average. We are certainly not at that on a sustained level, but we are really concerned.
There's now a 1.2% 7-day rolling average for positive tests. The cause driven in part by hotspots in Brooklyn and Queens. But the mayor fears a second wave and the need for huge restrictions.
Hi.
Businesses worry too. Meg's Women's Clothing has closed 3 boutiques already. Private appointments and online sales are helping remaining stores like this Boerum Hill location.
While it's a massive crisis, it's not the first crisis that we've had to endure. So we like to think that we're, capable of rolling with the punches, and we try and adapt.
Even in Thursday's rain, people stop and look at storefronts. Collier West has just applied for the city's open storefront program starting Friday. New cases bringing old fears, though, at a store that survived sitting closed for 3 months.
Please wear your mask, because that helps everybody. It helps us stay open, so definitely wear your mask.
It's too bad, but I do tend to trust that New Yorkers learn from experience, and we'll get it under control again.
But it is the unspoken or else part of that thought and the growth in cases that have now caught Mayor de Blasio's attention.
I think the important thing here is just, again, be led by the facts and the data, be led by the science, because it's really about keeping us safe and not letting a second wave in that would lead to huge restrictions on all of us.
And the short-term Halloween is this weekend. The mayor urging people to keep your gatherings limited and small outside if you are out trick-or-treating, and certainly on a broader sense for holiday travel. Mayor de Blasio very concerned and thinks that people should stay put and not be traveling outside the state, particularly taking plane flights. We're live in the Boerum Hill section. I'm John Chandler, News 4 New York.
All right, John, thank you. Now in Connecticut, Governor Ned Lamont announced the state's positivity rate increased to 6.1% overnight. That's the highest it's been since June 1st.
Well, today, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy said the second wave of coronavirus is here. The latest positivity rate, take a look, 6.54%. The state has had more than 1,000 new cases a day for more than a week straight now. And if you look at hospitalizations, also on the rise, now the highest they've seen since June.
Second wave of the coronavirus is no longer something off in the future. It is coming, and it is coming now. After 8 months, we understand that we are all suffering from pandemic fatigue. But this virus has been waiting for us to get lax in our personal responsibilities so that it can come roaring back.
Now, this week, we've been telling you about new restrictions that will go into effect tonight in Paterson and Hoboken. All bars and restaurants have to close by midnight. It comes just days after Newark had ordered all non-essential businesses and indoor dining to shut down by 8 p.m.
All right, as Natalie said, a new curfew in Paterson starts tonight on businesses there because of that COVID-19 spike. All businesses are closing by midnight until further notice. Restaurants can still offer pickup, though, and delivery after midnight, but gatherings inside or outside the restaurants are prohibited. All residents are encouraged to stay indoors after 9 p.m. and should continue practicing social distancing. And starting tonight in Hoboken, restaurants and bars also have to close by midnight to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The city's mayor signed an executive order this week. Hoboken is also expected to vote tonight on an ordinance to crack down on disorderly indoor gatherings. Violators would face fines of up to $1,000.